Hello and welcome to Biology 1. My name is Jacqueline Katz and I'm one of your students' biology teachers. I work in collaboration with Miss Carney. A little bit about myself, I've been at Princeton High School for 9 years. In the past, I've had experience teaching biology, biology accelerated, chemistry, as well as anatomy and physiology. This year, I'm working on 4 sections of biology, as well as helping to advise the science research program. Miss Carney, my co-teacher here, has had plenty of experience in the biology classroom, as well as the chemistry classroom, English, and history. So hopefully lots of skill sets we can bring for your students this school year. This year in Biology 1, there's several key goals that we're hoping to achieve with your students, and this list came out as a result of sitting down, thinking through the curriculum, thinking through the circumstances, and thinking what are the key things we need to focus on this year? Because we all know we're dealing with a slightly unorthodox model. We're working with ever-changing conditions, but there's still some important goals that I think we as a class can achieve. And those goals we're looking to work towards are improving scientific literacy, constructing scientific arguments, designing and carrying out experiments, finding connections between science and society, as well as developing study and learning habits that can be carried far outside of our Biology 1 classroom. I'm hoping that most of these goals, as we work closer towards them, they are things that transfer very easily into other classes as well as out into society. So in order to help our students achieve these goals, we have a little bit of a plan working. And the plan is going to start with establishing an environment of connectedness and inquiry. And this looks a little different this school year, but it can happen nonetheless. So what we see over to our right are your students on the very first day of class, really engaging and kind of creating this community. And what I asked the students to do was I asked them to take about 5 minutes and draw a scientist. Whatever that first image that came to their mind was, put it down on paper. And they did just that. Some of them very impressively, might I add. And then they held their pictures up to the camera. I snapped a quick screenshot that I then shared with them so that we could unpack some commonalities we saw between these scientists. So I was really asking the students to think about what they thought about when they thought about a scientist, and if that was the only way to think about a scientist. So this is something we're going to continue to unpack throughout the year, because I really want all the students to recognize that they are all scientists, right? And we all can think and act like a scientist, and we don't necessarily need to be Bill Nye the Science Guy or Miss Frizzle. So we're going to start there, and we're going to constantly be building this environment. We're going to be making observations in the worlds around us and asking questions. We're going to work to gain the understanding of content that will allow us to answer those questions. So when we are working through this content, we're going to focus on academic vocabulary and reading to apply those vocabulary terms, answering questions and thinking about real life scenarios, real life circumstances, real life scientists and experiments. Of course, the students are going to have the opportunity to design and execute experiments that guide us to answer our questions. And like we all know, they might look a little bit different, but the process and the practice will be the same nonetheless. And we're going to do plenty of reading, writing, and conversing, because to be able to interact with scientific literature and words from all angles is very important in the biology classroom and in the world as we navigate a very different situation than we had a year ago or 2 years ago. A cool way that we're gonna kind of navigate through this plan is through collaborations with other universities and other scientists. And one collaboration that we're gonna start up pretty soon is with MIT and UPenn. And a group of scientists there have been building models of complex biological systems for students to interact with. So we're going to start using those models and interacting with those scientists shortly. Towards the end of the year, we're going to interact with another group of scientists. These scientists come from Rutgers University. They're actually polar scientists who recently came back from a trip to Antarctica. They collected a great deal of data about a biological hotspot right off the Western Antarctic Peninsula, and our students are going to have the chance to work with that data, try to make sense of that data, ask some questions, and carry out some experiments. So these interactions, these collaborations, I really think are going to help us achieve our goals in class this year. So our hub is our Canvas page. Hopefully you've had a chance to look over your student's shoulder and take a look at what this looks like. On this page, you will find all the nitty-gritty details about grading and homework assignments and where to submit things, and they're all here. Another important thing you'll find on this page and your student will find on this page are our office hours, which we really, really hope that your students take advantage of. Ask questions, never feel like they're floundering. If they can't catch us at office hours, we're always available via email. So I really do hope that they feel comfortable to reach out. If you notice something and maybe your student doesn't feel comfortable reaching out, please, please, please send us an email. We are more than willing to speak with you, speak with your student, and try to work us all through this slightly bizarre situation. We want to stay as connected as possible. So please reach out with any questions. Our email addresses are right on the PHS website. And we're also hosting a Q&A session on Friday. So you'll be viewing this video, I hope, on Thursday night. If you have any remaining questions after that, I ask that you pop in during our Q&A sessions, which are between 8 and 9 a.m. on Friday, as well as between 5 and 6 p.m. on Friday. I apologize, 4 and 5 p.m. on Friday. If none of those hours work for you, I do ask that you shoot me an email, and I am more than willing to set up additional time if you have things you need to chat about. They're fairly casual Q&A sessions, so you just pop on, ask your question or two, and then you're more than welcome to pop off and carry on with your day. So I really appreciate you taking the time to pop into Virtual Bio 1, and I look forward to an excellent year with your students. Good night.